Now, the international break is on. But for some reason, the wildest news came out of Chelsea and Chelsea camp is that there is a civil war. And no, we're not talking about Marvel. We're not talking about Captain America versus Iron Man. We are talking about a civil war within the Chelsea ownership group. Now, it is between Todd Bowley and Clear Lake Capital. Now, I thought they were the same thing. I I don't know why. I was like, aren't they the same thing? Isn't he the head of Clear Lake Capital? I was wrong. They're not. Todd. I mean, they both gain their money from investment banking. And I think Clear Lake Capital's headed by two guys, and they also manage a wealth fund, and it's this whole bit, right? So that's that. And then Todd Bowley has his own money, and then I think he manages some money still or something like that too. So either way, civil war right now going on inside of Chelsea. Now, how's that possible? And how did that come about? I think, honestly, it came a lot about from the Pochettino situation didn't help. And then I think just the direction that the club is going as far as the net spend, which has been blown out of the water by Chelsea, bar none. And then obviously the contracts that they're handing out. But like I said, there's been a lot of news. This is some of it. Breaking: Clear Lake Capital and Bowley are in tatters. So obviously they joined in to buy Chelsea, and then they were running it. I think Todd Bowley had more to do with it two years ago, and then this season it was more of this guy named Egbali, who runs the Clear Lake Capital Fund. And so again, that's the breakup, and now Bowley's approach to hire experts and let them go with it. How true is that? I have no idea. And Egbali has taken a role of micromanaging and apparently is obsessed with player trading, which does seem to be the case. I mean, they want to revamp the whole squad, and it has looked like this whole entire time that like there was way too many cooks in the kitchen, and I think that has finally come out. I mean, they don't have a clear vision from what we can tell outside looking in, right? Like they could be spending godly amounts of money, but they're just spending them in the same positions. They're making like 4 squads. They are making just duplicate, like unnecessary purchases, and they're axing players that you would think like have been good or good servants to the club out the door. So I think the fans and everybody else has been, like I said, just really confused about it, and it kind of all makes sense now if we're being super honest. Now, it is coming to a head as to who will be in charge at the end of the day. Now, both of them, as we kind of saw here, both of them think that they are going to come out on top. Now, they're just in the process of trying to buy each other out. Like I said, Clear Lake Capital, they say they have, again, these are all reports. They say that there's something crazy, like they manage 90 billion or something like that, or they have the funds. And Todd Bowley as well, who co-owns I think it's the Dodgers is where I've seen him most prominently. I think it's at a couple other teams as well, but I think I've seen him really at the Dodgers. But anyway, he is also, I think he said, it's being quoted that he has the backing of the board. I don't think he has majority shares, though. But anyway, he has the backing of the board, and that he can get funding to buy out Clear Lake Capital. But from what I've seen, Clear Lake Capital has put out a bunch of statements saying that they're not going to sell. And so this has just turned into an absolute shit show, if we're being super honest. Now, here's the story that I found. Breaking: Clear Lake Capital are backed by a $90 billion or pound fund they control, as well as the personal billions of the founders of Clear Lake Capital, which is Egbali and Feliciano. I think it shows somewhere here. No, it doesn't. Okay, but that's okay. But anyway, civil war, never a dull moment in Chelsea in their goings on. And honestly, just this kind of tracks. Like I said, this just makes sense. Like it has looked like the entire time that there's like 8 people just deciding what to do, and they're all moving forward with their own plans. And they just, again, they got João Felix back. Like, again, fine player. He doesn't seem like he was needed at all, but you got Raheem Sterling headed out the door. Again, you want to get rid of some of the bloated contracts, that's fine, but it just seems like they don't have a clear vision. And if one of the co-owners is micromanaging and obsessed with player trading, again, he can do that. That's fine. You're not playing FIFA, but okay, you can do that if you own the team. But, again, there's too many chefs. They all want to do different things. And it's just looking a mess right now. The weirdest part, too, is that from what I saw, Todd Boehly wanted to keep Pochettino, and then I'm assuming he was just overruled, and Pochettino mutually agreed to part ways with Chelsea. And it's possibly going to take over the U.S. But anyway, that is also one point where, I think their new coach, Enzo, they look better. So they're kind of showing some strides going forward. Again, was that the right move? Was that the right way to go about it? Should you be changing manager so often? These are all questions that hopefully there will be one answer to when they all resolve this and get it under one owner. And I'm sure the Premier League is livid because they got Roman Abramovich out, and they clearly Capital and Todd Boehly set this presentation to buy Chelsea. And obviously it was supposed to be kind of a normal business. They've spent like mad sons of guns. They sell asset to themselves to get under the player wage thing, financial fair play, and then they're just spending again like crazy. And now this civil war that's going on. This is just, it's headline after headline for the Premier League that I'm sure they are not loving. So they're going to want to figure it out. But the financial fair play stuff has kind of been looming over their head. But with all this going on, it's just going to make it more of a mess for the PFA and obviously just the Premier League. And it is a right mess. So international break, I caught wind of that, and I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? What do you mean civil war? And again, I thought it was Clear Lake, so my bad. I thought it was. I had no idea that there were two different entities, but too many billionaires. It worked at the Dodgers. I'll give them that, because the Dodgers are a solid organization, and they are run quite well. They spend a lot of money, but it seems like they're getting their bang for their buck. Chelsea and football, not so much. And there's also, that was the other thing actually, is that Chelsea potentially want to move from Stamford Bridge in order to attain a stadium that has a higher seat capacity. And so, again, I think for fans, ideally that's better, but whenever there's change in jolly old England, they are going to be very upset that there is potentially something new, that they're going to be moving out of Stamford Bridge. I don't know if they're staying in London. I think they are still staying in London, just a different area, but we'll see where that's going. So many just headlines coming out of Chelsea that I was trying to wait for the dust to settle, but I mean, you kind of have to talk about just everything going on with Chelsea. So that is what's going on with Chelsea right now. We'll keep an eye on the situation, see what's going on, and update from there.